Hey guys, welcome in this video. I hope that all of you are doing great and happy new year to all of you guys. So today is the first video of 2023 and we will start the right way because in today's video, I will share with you guys the 5-step process that you can follow to achieve your goals and get your dream life. So no matter what are your goals, no matter how big your vision is, if you actually follow these steps, you will be able to succeed. These are the things that I've implemented within my own life as well. And I'm telling you guys, they literally change everything. They are very, very, very powerful. And I actually took quite a lot of time to plan this video to bring you guys as much value as I can. So I really hope it will serve you. So just before that we start, as always, guys, please drop a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. It motivates me to do even more of these free videos for you guys. And make sure as well that you are subscribed to the channel if it's not already done. So let's get into it. The first step that you need to do is to have a vision and goals. Okay, and we will talk about these two things and you guys will see why they are extremely important. So number one, if we start with the vision, right? Having a long-term vision means that you have an idea of what your dream life looks like. Okay, what you actually want to accomplish in life, right? So for example, it can be where do you want to live? What kind of car you want to drive? What kind of family do you want to have? What kind of freedom do you want to have? What kind of businesses you want to have? What kind of impact you want to make on other people's life, right? And stuff like that. Okay, so you need to have kind of a idealistic vision, right? Of, you know, if you could get everything you want in life, how it's going to look like, right? And it's very, very, very important to have this vision and to cultivate this idea because it's going to make sense of why you are working towards something, right? Because if you don't have this vision, then you will never really know why you are putting in the work and what really is the goal to get to, right? And so it's not going to be able to motivate you enough. And most of the time, if people don't have a vision, they just eventually give up because, as I said, they don't really know why they are working towards something in the first place. So having a long-term vision is extremely important. And then you also need to have more, I would say, medium-term goals that you will be able to achieve, which at the end will lead you to have this vision, right? And so the goals that you can have are what we will need to focus on. So the vision is something that you will keep in the back of your mind every single day that will motivate you to work toward this. But then you will need to set yourself goals, which will lead you eventually to achieve this vision, right? And now in terms of goal settings, you actually have two different options. So you will need to set goals that are related to what you actually want and then the processes that will get you this, okay? So for example, right, if you want to make more money, right, you could say, for example, my goal in 2023 is to make $10,000 per month or $20,000 per month, right? So that's the goal at what you want to get, right? But in order to be able to get this, you will actually need to focus on the processes that will get you to this level, right? And so then you will need to set goals of processes. For example, putting in at least 8 hours per day, or, you know, let's say going to the gym, right? To have more energy and to be more healthy, right? To be more productive, to sleep better, right? All of these things are more processes driven, and you will also need to implement these goals within your life, which will actually lead you to achieve the goals related to what you want. And these will actually give you the vision that you have, right? So already within the first step, we already have a 3-step process that you will follow, and this will really help you to maximize everything. And in terms of the goals related to the processes that you will need to put in place, you will have to put in place 2 things within this as well, right? So the number one thing will be to have a goal for 90 days, right? So for the next 3 months, what do you want to accomplish, okay? And this is very, very important to do because if you have a good idea of what you want to do for the next couple of months, you will also know where you are going, right? And so as you guys can see, the idea is really to take the vision and to break it down into different steps, which will at the end get you there, right? So you need to have a 90-day plan where you will be able to put new habits in place and just become a new overall person, which will help you to achieve your goals. And then if we take it a step further, you will also need to have a everyday plan, okay? And that is something that I do within my life that, as I said, is extremely powerful. So when I finish my working day, I will take about 5 to 10 minutes to actually plan the next day. And so what that does for me is that when I wake up in the morning, I don't have to ask myself so many questions. I don't need to try to figure out what I want to do today, right? Because I've already made this plan before. And so I'm not going to waste time and precious energy in the morning to think of these things. And I will just be able to take massive action right away. Okay. And so as you guys can see, when you have a clear plan for the day on what you will accomplish, well, this will lead you to accomplish your 90-day plan, and this will already make a massive difference within your life. And if you have a 90-day plan and you just repeat this, you will be able to achieve your goals that are related to the results, and this will inevitably give you the vision that you want to have, right? And so that is exactly how I break down everything. This is what I've been doing for a couple of years, and that's the reason why today, well, I'm able, to trade full time. I live in a beautiful condo here in Quebec, and I just have, well, a lot of success in everything that I've done essentially, right? And I don't say this to brag, I don't say this to impress you. It's literally just to show you guys that this process here works, and it's very, very important. And one of the best things that you guys can do is to do identity shifting, right? There are a lot of studies when it comes to this, right? But essentially, the best way to implement new habits and to change your life is to simply become another person, right? Because the person that you are today gives you the results that you have today. And so you will need to adapt, yourself, right, within a new environment if you want to get other results, right? And it's going to be a process that is not necessarily easy to follow, right? But it's going to work, and it's going overall to improve your life. So the second thing that you have to do within this 5-step process is to simply be able to identify what really matters and what will move you toward your goals, and then focus strictly on that, right? So be able to prioritize, okay? And what you have to understand when it comes to this is simply that 20% of what you do will give you 80% of the results you have, right? And so what that means is that you don't need to just work hard all the time, okay? People who just work hard, they don't get much in life, unfortunately, right? It's not the hardest workers in the rooms that become the richest people, okay? It's really people who are able to work smart and understand what really matters and where their focus needs to be, okay? So you need to understand that there are just a few activities probably that you are doing and that you could do in your life that will really make a massive difference, right? And so one of the problems that a lot of people get into is that they think that in order to get more, they need to add more things to do on a daily basis, right? They need to add more tasks, but not necessarily, right? It could be also to remove a lot of things that you are doing right now that don't give you results, right? Because at the end of the day, we all have 24 hours during the day, right? And so you cannot just add more and more and more and expect to get more out of it like that, because otherwise everyone would do this and the people who would work the most would be the richest. But we know that it's not the case, right? So it's not about adding more things. It's actually about removing things that are not that important and that don't really make a big difference at the end of the day. The third thing that we will focus on is for you to become a highly productive person. And that is extremely important. And I truly believe that this is actually the foundation for anyone that wants to become successful in life. Okay. And so we will talk about this. So number one, right, when we say productivity, as I've kind of talked about before, right, it's not necessarily about putting in more and more hours. It's more so to get the most out of the hours that you put in and to focus only on what matters, right? And so in order to do this, one of the things that you will have to do is to literally cut all the distractions, okay? We live in a world where there are so many distractions everywhere at all time, okay? And the worst one is probably what you are watching this video on right now. So it's either your computer or your phone, okay? And so that is literally poison for you guys, okay? Like, I cannot stress this enough, okay? Most of you guys are probably spending hours every single day in total just watching videos and watching TikToks and stuff like that. And I'm not saying to not watch this video here because you are learning something and it's going to help you progress toward your goals, right? But most of the time, people just watch entertainment and stuff like that, and it's literally just a massive distraction, right? And it's not just that, it's also just as simple as, you know, receiving a text message from a friend or a family member that you want to answer right away, right? So let's say you are working, you get a text, you take the time to answer it, then you come back to work, but you are not in the same mindset that you were before. You are not in the flow, okay? The concept of flow is something that is really important, okay? So being in motion, okay? So kind of being extremely focused on doing something. So if you get distracted, it's going to take a longer period of time to actually get back within this zone, if that makes sense, okay? And so just one text message, right? Even if it takes like 30 seconds to answer, maybe that it's actually, you know, keeping you away from 15 minutes of being very productive like you were before that you got distracted. And just, you know, think of it like this, right? Like if it happens, you know, 5 times during the day, 10 times during the day, and probably a lot more if we are realists, right? Then it's going to take a lot of time away from you and it's going to limit your potential. The fourth thing that you need to put in place in order to become a high productive person is to simply understand your brain and understand why we think certain things and why we do certain things and essentially what's behind that. And the reason why that is so important is simply that if you have a good understanding of how we function as humans and essentially the different hormones that are within our body, it's going to help you stay focused on what really matters and not get lost within them. And you guys will understand what I mean by this. It's at the end of the day pretty simple, but it's really, really important that you are aware of these things, okay? So number one, you need to understand how dopamine is being released within your body and what it does to you, okay? So essentially dopamine is the hormone of pleasure, okay? So for example, when you are eating junk food, well, you get a release of dopamine. When you are with friends and it's really fun and you are laughing, then you get a release of dopamine. When you watch adult videos, right? We know what we're talking about. There is a release of dopamine, okay? And all of these things are just constantly, you know, releasing this amazing hormone that make us feel good, okay? It's the same thing with social media. Again, right? When you scroll on Instagram and, you know, when you see you know, pretty girls and, you know, cool cars and stuff like that, right? It's giving you this hormone of dopamine, right? And nowadays, the problem is that so many people are actually addicted to dopamine and they do not even realize it, okay? And that's a massive problem because if you have this addiction within your life, it's literally going to stop you from working on the things that really matter because you will find these things boring, okay? For example, right? Think about it. If you always, you know, are on social media and you see pretty girls and then you eat junk food and you have all of this, you know, insane amount of dopamine that is released every single day. So when you will actually sit in front of your computer and just put in the work, you will find it extremely boring because it's not going to release as much dopamine as the other activities. And it's actually going to block you from being focused and getting things done. Okay. So what you actually have to do is to remove all of these things that are just not necessary, that are giving you too much dopamine for no real reason without any effort. And this will actually do kind of a detox of dopamine, if it makes sense. And it's going to help you actually gain more energy toward what you really want to do. And you will see that the work that you do will actually become a lot more fun as you will actually have this release of dopamine from your work and not from other activities, right? So that's number one. Number two, you need to focus on having a good diet. Okay, you need to eat good. Okay, like it's pretty much as simple as that. Do not overcomplicate it again, right? But you need to have a lot of protein, a lot of fruits and vegetables, and you need to remove all of the bullshit essentially that is being given to us within society, unfortunately, right? So everything that is transformed, everything that has too much sugar, too much carbs, right? Too much fat, okay? All of these things are, again, literally destroying your mind, because if you eat a lot of junk food, for example, it comes back to what I was talking before with dopamine, right? So you need to actually have a really good diet in place. It's going to help you, you know, just have a better balance, I would say, within your body, and it's going to help you stay focused for a longer period of time. And I think you guys are starting to get the point, right, with the process that I'm explaining here. But literally, it's all about being able to focus on one thing for a long period of time, which will inevitably give you results if you are able to do this, right? And so we are trying to optimize everything, right? When it comes to the goals, when it comes to the mindset, the productivity, removing everything that doesn't matter, right? We want to optimize all of these things in order to be able to do this, right? So having a good diet is something that is very, very important. You also need to focus on sleeping, right? So you need to sleep ideally at least, I would say, 8 hours per day. That would really be the minimum. And then you need to, again, optimize your sleep. So for example, you don't want to eat a lot of sugar or anything that is too hard to digest before going to sleep, right? At least 2 or 3 hours. Another things that you can do, for example, within your life is that at night, that's what I do here. I turn all the red light, okay? Because the color red is actually something that will produce hormones within your body that will help you sleep. You can search it on the internet and you'll figure it out, okay? So there are multiple different things that you can do to optimize your sleep, and this is something that I've been working on quite a lot in the past couple of years, and I'm now able to sleep very, very well most of the time. And you know, I can really feel the difference on a daily basis, and it helps me to be even more productive. And so the last step within this whole process is simply that you need to take massive action quickly, okay? Now that you know what you have to do, well, you need to do it, and you need to do it fast, okay? And what I mean by that is that now, you know, if you really follow the process that we've talked about, right, you will have a vision, you will have goals related to what you want to have and related to the processes. Within these processes, you will have a 90-day plan and things that you will do every single day to get there. You will be able to also remove the distractions if you are aware of them. You will be able to be more productive by focusing on what matters and removing what doesn't matter, right? So you will do all of these things, right? And as I said, these will literally change your life. But in order for these to work, well, you need to put in the work and you need to do it, right? You need to take action. And as I said, you need to take action fast, okay? This is probably one of the biggest things that had a just crazy impact in my life, okay? But it's literally that on a daily basis, I try to be fast with what I have to do, okay? I'm not going to waste time on things that do not really matter or that are not really going to make a massive difference, right? So I'm not going to be a perfectionist in everything that I do, right? And just be slow and stuff like that, right? I need to get done fast, okay? I need to, you know, move quickly. And when I say move quickly, it's literally in the sense of the word, okay? Like I do things fast, okay? Like I don't really know how to explain it in other words, okay? But that's really the goal. That's really the idea, right? You need to be able to get things done fast, and you need to be able to get to where you want to be at a quick pace, okay? It's not going to take a long time if you actually have this mindset, and it's going to be able to speed up everything, right? And as I said, at the end of the day, the most important thing you guys have to do is to simply take action, okay? Do not overcomplicate this whole process. Don't overthink it as well, right? Literally just do it, right? After watching this video, you know, figure out what you want in life, right? Have a vision, and then create yourself goals, right? And then focus on being productive, and then fix your eating habits, and then go to the gym. And tonight, right, make sure that you get your 8 hours of sleep and stuff like that, right? So get things moving, okay? That is really what matters. And at the beginning, guys, of course, everything is not going to be perfect. Of course, you will make mistakes. It's perfectly normal. It's part of the game. Do not overjudge yourself, right? Literally take imperfect action. It's going to be much better than just waiting for the perfect moment, which we know don't exist. So guys, this was the 5-step process, and I truly believe that if you put these things in place, they literally have the power to change your life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can share it around and leave a like on it as well. And on that, take care, trade with care, manage money well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.